year, tens of thousands of people come to Penang whether to work, to be an expat, or to retire, and they all have the same issue to address. Should I buy or should I rent? Well, there's no wrong answer to that, but we are going to go through point by point things that you should consider whether to buy or to rent in Penang. Okay, ready for that? Let's get into it.
This place is my home, Penang, my new home.
Hello everybody and welcome to Penang, my new home, the YouTube channel that talks about living in Penang, specifically for people who are moving to Penang from other states as well as from other countries. Today we have this question: should I buy or should I rent the property that I'm living in when I move over to Penang? Well, honestly, everybody has his own circumstance and it all depends on your own situation. But we are going to look into it point by point so that hopefully I can help you make informed decision that gives you a much better experience of living in Penang. So the first thing to consider is, are you coming here to work or are you coming here to retire? And if you are coming here to work, are you coming from other states or are you coming from other countries? If you are a Malaysian or if you are not a Malaysian, all this will factor into your decision making. But let's start with, if you are coming here to work in Penang. And let's go through the points one by one.
Penang, my new home.
If you are a total newcomer to Penang, for sure, in the very beginning at least, you will have to rent until you are fully settled down. Renting gives you the flexibility if the tenancy period can be as short as 1 year. And during that period, you can do your further house hunting to see which particular neighborhood is most suitable to you. Also, when you are renting, you do not have to put in a huge down payment. So, you do not have to have ready cash to purchase something. And renting means that you can get used to different neighborhoods as you get accustomed to Penang. Because something that you may see in the very beginning that looks perfect for you might not be so perfect a few months down the road, because you will then get familiar with your own circumstance. If you're working, for example, and you're traveling from point A to point B, make sure that point A to point B is not so, the distance is so long or the road is always congested. Is there a better option? Yeah, as you travel and you get used to being in Penang, all this will factor in, and as you become more familiar with Penang, the answer will come to you yourself. You will find out, I don't know what to stay here anymore because you cannot bear the jam every day, or it is too long. Or on the other hand, the distance is long but you don't mind it because that the traffic is smooth most of the time. So this is always according to your own circumstance. Also, if you are planning to move to other countries, let's say you are coming here to stay for you only plan to stay for 1 or 2 years and then you want to move on to a different country, then buying might not be a suitable option for you. You might just want to rent for a year or two and then you pack up and you move on. So renting is something for somebody who is just coming to Penang for the short period. But if you're going to stay for a longer period, then that's when you'll start to think about whether you should purchase a property. Another reason for renting is repairs is not your responsibility. If something is wrong, then you will call up the landlord or the landlord's agent and get all these things fixed. And also, if you are staying in the condominium, you don't have to pay the maintenance fee. That is handled by the landlord. So in a way, when you are renting, all those nitty-gritty things, you have already paid for it with your rental. Whereas, if you are purchasing a property, then if there's any repair work, that is on your own. So you have to handle that yourself. And in particular, if you are totally new to Penang and you are not familiar, you don't have the context, then all these little nitty-gritty things will add up to your cost, your stress, and also to a certain degree consume a lot of your time. And as a result, you might not enjoy your stay in Penang as well as it should be. If you are coming to Penang to retire, you may also still consider renting because it gives you the opportunity to try out different places, or if you like to stay in places with facilities, you can try out different condominiums, maybe 1 year in this condominium, and then the next year you move on to a different condominium. No strings attached, so easy, just pack up your bag and move. So that is the convenience of renting. And you don't have to, of course, take care of all the maintenance fee that is associated with purchasing. In the very beginning, even if you are moving to Penang to retire, it would be a good idea for you to just rent for a moment. Look out for short-term rentals so that you can get used to the surroundings and also sometimes the networking. Some neighborhoods in Penang, such as Tanjung Tokong and Tanjung Bunga, are more suitable for expatriates. And then, within Tanjung Tokong or Tanjung Bunga, there are specific condominiums which are favored by foreigners. So, as a foreigner yourself, sometimes it's good to make new friends with other foreigners, and so you can more or less look after each other. But it is not definite whether you are going to get along with some people. So it is always a good idea in the very beginning to rent for a while, to get your feet wet, to see whether you are going to enjoy being in the place long term. So that is some of the advantages of renting.
Penang, my new home.
Having covered the advantages of renting, we should also not forget the disadvantages of renting. Of course, the first one is if you're renting is that place is not yours. So it belongs to somebody else. After paying rental for a long period of time, it is still not yours. And on top of that, you are at the mercy of rent increase. So if the landlord feels that the property is worth much more now, then he could increase your rent, and you can stop him from doing that, particularly if your tenancy has expired and you're in the midst of renewal. So when you're renewing, it is within the owner's right to increase the rent. So that is something that you have to consider. Another thing is the lack of stability. If you are renting and you become very comfortable in that place, the owner may still want the property back at the end of the tenancy, or even if it's not at the end of the tenancy, then according to the terms of the tenancy agreement, and then you may be forced to move. And moving can be quite a hassle, particularly if you have accumulated a substantial amount of furnishing and luggage. So it could be an upheaval if you are renting from that particular angle. Another issue to consider with renting is limited personalization. That is to say, the landlord may forbid you from doing things to that particular unit. You may not repaint it in a particular color, for example. You may not hack the wall. You may not do a lot of things. So there are a lot of rules which you need to obey in order to occupy that particular property. And after occupying it for a long while, assuming that you keep on renewing your rental, it is still not your property, and so there is no sense of ownership. So the intimacy with that particular property is much less compared to purchasing. As you rent in Penang and you see that year after year the rental keeps on increasing, you may regret the decision that you have not purchased a property, because all the amount that you pay in rental, now the rental keeps on going up, and it is not yours. All that money is like all burned away. So that is another consideration when you are renting in Penang. But of course, this is based on everybody's circumstance. Once again, if you plan to be in Penang for just a short period of time, then renting is possibly your only option.
Penang, my new home.
And now let's go to the advantages or benefits of purchasing property in Penang. And number one among them is Penang, along with Kuala Lumpur and Johor Bahru, are the three main places where people converge on. And Penang in particular, being land scarce, has a quite stable real estate market, and price is quite strong, and if not, it will continue to increase year after year. As more and more people come to Penang to work as well as to retire, the price of property is going to keep on increasing. So whether you are coming here to work long term or to retire for a extended period of time, if that's what you are going to do, then it is a good idea to consider purchasing. And in particular, if you have quite an amount to put as a down payment, then it is worthwhile to consider purchasing, because the price of your property is going to increase over time. To have a place that you can call home gives you a feeling of intimacy, and that is something which, if Penang is right for you, so I would suggest that try out Penang for a while, and you find if Penang is right for you, then as the name of this YouTube channel suggests, make it your new home. Because when you purchase a property in Penang, that's when you put down a commitment that this is going to be your new home. You are going to stay here. You are going to enjoy and experience Penang. And of course, myself and every Penang person want you to feel at home. So if you're purchasing, then yes, that is your commitment of making Penang your new home. Another benefit of purchasing is that you are the owner of your own castle. That is to say, you can do whatever you want with it. You want to paint the wall purple, it is your wall to paint. You want to nail the wall, it is your wall to nail. You want to do an entire rewiring of the unit, it is yours to do as you please. So, purchasing a property gives you the freedom to do exactly what you want, which renting might not allow you to do so. And one more thing is, once you purchase your property, in future, you can sell it off for a profit. So it is not money that is burned, but money that is growing. So that is one more thing that you should consider. If you are coming to Penang to be a retiree from other countries, and you are thinking of getting the MM2H Malaysia My Second Home program, then the moment you are approved, you have no choice, you have to buy. So going into the MM2H program, the present MM2H program as of November 2024 means you have a commitment to purchase a property in Penang according to the price as given to you. But being an MM2H holder, you have the option of purchasing at least 2 properties at 500,000 ringgit, which is so cheap compared to properties in other countries. And you can enjoy the high standard of living of being in Penang without the cost of being in a developed country. In Penang, we enjoy a very high standard of living, and having your own property that is your own as a MM2H holder, visa holder, you can enjoy all that benefit.
Penang, my new home.
And now the disadvantages of buying property in Penang. Well, the first one is Penang property is, for especially people from other states, Penang property is expensive. Yeah, end of story. Penang property is expensive if compared to other states in Malaysia. But having said that, Penang property is worth buying. It's expensive for a reason, because it's land scarce. So living in Penang, I can always tell you a lot of advantages. Places are quite compact. So even though it is expensive, you usually do not have to travel a longer distance compared to if you are to stay in the Klang Valley or even Johor Bahru, where things are all more spread out. So the advantage of staying in Penang is that things tend to be quite near to each other despite the congestion. Another disadvantage of purchasing is, of course, you need to have the cash for down payment, and if property is expensive, of course the down payment is high. So I have to say that if you don't have the money, then buying is not an option. You may have to settle with renting. One more disadvantage of purchasing a property in Penang is that all repairs, all maintenance is on you. So if something breaks down, you have to fix it yourself. If something is not right, you have to fix it yourself. So there is nobody to assign it to. Everything is on yourself. So that is one of the disadvantage of buying. So once again, before you are settled down, maybe you might want to lay off buying until you are quite settled in Penang and you are quite familiar with all the localities and neighborhoods in Penang, and you are sure where you want to stay. And that's why I work so hard with this YouTube channel to help you understand every neighborhood in Penang so that you can make informed decision that make you happy. And one day you may tell me that thanks to this YouTube channel, I have been able to make wise decision in staying in Penang. I have listened to this guy and he has given me good ideas. That's why I love to hear. But I hope that through what I have shared with you, I can help you make those informed decisions. For some people, they are also worried about buying in Penang or elsewhere, such as what is the minimum amount to spend, what are the all the documentation required, and so on. If you are planning to buy, don't worry about that. Get a good agent. You can look for agent at iProperty, Property Guru, Muda, or you can also come to me because I'm in the property business. One of my real estate agents to serve you, to help you, and to navigate you through all the documentation so that it will fit your own circumstance. So as far as documentation is concerned, whether a property is freehold, whether it's leasehold, and if it's leasehold, you can expect more documentation and more approvals required in order to purchase it. But don't let that be a worry for yourself. Get a good real estate agent, an agent who is licensed, who has all the know-how and capability to help you. And all the agents in my team are all licensed. They can help you, but I'm not trying to sell you any services here. I'm just giving you advice. You can find also good real estate agents at Property Guru, iProperty, and Muda.my, and those agents will be able to help you. Another disadvantage of buying is that one day you might change your mind about staying in Malaysia or Penang. You want to move elsewhere and your money is stuck because you have bought a property here, and it may take a while for you to liquidate that property and get your money back. That is entirely true. So this is entirely up to your circumstance again. Are you going to stay in Penang for quite an extended number of years? And if you are on the MM2H program, well, that decision has already been made for you. In that, if you are on MM2H, the current MM2H, you are required to buy. So there is no option of, I will rent. There's no option open for that. You have to purchase. So any newcomer into the MM2H program will have to make the commitment that I am coming to Penang. I'm going to stay here for at least 5 years or 10 years or even more. And for that purpose, I want stability. I want to enjoy the stability, and I do not want to have to worry about rent increase. I want to buy, and I will want to get MM2H. And if you need to get MM2H also, you can also still come to me because we have the assigned MM2H agent to assist you in guiding you through how to get MM2H. But once again, I'm not trying to sell you MM2H either. I'm just telling you that don't let that be a worry for you.
Penang, my new
finally, let's go through some neutral points where it is neither positive nor negative to rent or to purchase a property in Penang. First of all, if you are going to stay here short term, you are not sure whether you're working or you're retiring, you're not sure whether you're going to be in Penang for an extended number of years, then the option should be most likely renting. If you are renting, you are flexible. You are working in Penang, and in future you can get a better job with a better pay in Kuala Lumpur or even Singapore, and you want to move over there, then you are not tied to Penang like an anchor, but you can quickly pack up and move elsewhere. So renting would be a good idea. If you are a person who do not want to be bothered with maintenance fees or having to repair this or repair that, then renting is also a good idea, because anything, you get the landlord to settle it for you. All you want to do is to stay here, maybe in a very nice condominium, to enjoy all the facilities and don't have to worry about any repairs, any maintenance. So for that, renting will be a good idea. Another consideration is if you do not want to put in a down payment for something and you are not sure of the climate here, whether you're going to be here for a long while, then renting would be an option that you should consider. And so everybody, as we come to the end of this video, I hope that I'm not giving you the answer, but I have helped you get the answer yourself according to your own circumstances. Whether you want to rent in Penang or you want to buy in Penang, you are always welcome in Penang. We want you to feel at home in Penang, whether as a tenant or as a property owner, and we want you to enjoy your life in Penang. And I also hope that you will be able to find someone, a real estate agent whom you can trust, who can help you navigate through all the circumstances. If you want one from me, let me leave you my contact information. WhatsApp me, and not me, but one of my real estate agents will assist you to help you. And I may go along, and I will always also guide along to make sure that everything is smooth for you. But the places that you can find good, trustworthy real estate agents are at iProperty, Property Guru, and Muda.my. Go through them, look at the advertisement of those real estate agents, and then get hold of them, because a good real estate agent is worth their weight in gold. They will give you such a nice, wonderful experience of staying in Penang. And through this YouTube channel, Penang, my new home, I hope that I too have done what I can to give you a wonderful time of staying in Penang. And if you like this video, please give it a like, share it with your friends. Hopefully this may help them to get the ideas of what are the realistic expectation of coming to Penang. And I'll be coming out with more YouTube videos to share with you so that you have a realistic expectation. So if you are planning to come to Penang, or you are already in Penang, please subscribe to Penang, my new home YouTube channel, and I'll see you again soon.
Penang, my new home. Wherever I roam, this place is my own.